Welcome. Today, I'm an intellectual, because today we'll be philosophizing about some quotes.
Hi, my name is Juliet and welcome to my space.
Well, I'm actually wearing contacts and glasses right now, which is not comfortable. I welcome you to a very intellectual evening, a very pinkelectual. Some jokes just shouldn't be made, Juliet. If you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I am quite obsessed with quotes. I actually want to write a book with a lot of quotes in it that I find or that reflects on my life or things. Who gives a shit? I love quotes. I love how short they are. I love they can say so much and so little. I love it. So what are we doing today? My mum has picked out some quotes that I haven't looked at before, and we'll be philosophizing about them, or I'll be, and you'll be listening hopefully, and I'll see you in the comments if you want to react to something. So let's get started. I don't know how many there are. She's just sent me a file where they are in, and she was already talking about like 22 quotes or something. I have to get verified to open it, apparently. I didn't want to open them because I wanted to get my first initial response to them on camera. So, but it's taking a little while. While we wait on the quotes. How are you doing today? I've had a good day. I've had a good day, haven't I? Look, I want to show you all my tarot cards. Isn't that... Oh, the quotes. This is very close, isn't it? Do you like me? It's so close. Let's get to some quotes. I'm excited. As I said, I love quotes. Okay, first one. Oh my god. So my mom is quite the fan of Star Trek.
Live long and prosper.
So there's a lot of quotes from Star Trek. Logic is the beginning of wisdom, not the end. Logic is the beginning of wisdom, not the end. Wow, I'm already feeling really stupid. Is this quote too easy that it seems hard or something, or am I really just not getting it? Okay, another one from Spock. I'm sorry if I'm really stupid right now, but you know what? I don't care. Highly illogical, Spock. Okay, so my mom copy and pasted quotes from Star Trek. Now, live long and prosper. I think we all know that one, right? So I'm really a sci-fi fan. I like sci-fi sometimes, but my mom's really into sci-fi. So live long and prosper. We know that one. Things are only impossible until they're not. From Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Is that the bold one? But that's true. Things are only impossible until they are not. You decide whether things are possible or impossible. That is not up to anyone else, and that is not up to if it's true or not. If you decide that you want to do something, or if you decide that you do not want to do something. No, if you decide if you want to achieve something and you want to do it, and everyone else around you is saying it's impossible, it's not impossible. It's possible. Insufficient facts always invite danger. Also another quote from Spock. Is also very true. If someone is sick and the doctor has insufficient facts, the patient is in trouble. Anyone is a Star Trek fan, by the way? Tell me in the comments. Compassion. That's the one thing no machine ever had. Maybe it's the one thing that keeps men ahead of them. Dr. McCoy. Aw. It's a really cute one. This theory that machines will eventually take over humans, and that they don't have compassion because we're from nature, we're biological, they're technological. But to be honest, I don't think that we can be taken over if we wouldn't create technology, for one. Second of all, I think everything with a conscience is basically alive, right? And just because it's a different conscience doesn't mean that it's either less or more than humans are. Animals are a different species than humans, but just because they are more worried about surviving than, let's say, emotionally bonding, which also really depends on the animal species, doesn't mean that they're worthless or worthless. But I don't know, could there be machines created with compassion? Because if we basically put our own in machines, wouldn't the machine still have compassion like a human would? Isn't that the goal that a lot of engineers are achieving? I don't know, but who knows what happens, right? Improve a mechanical device and you may double productivity, but improve man and you gain 1,000-fold. From Khan Noonien Singh. Also, kind of like the last one, I think men, or I think humans in general, are really oblivious to how powerful we actually are, as in what we can actually do only with thought alone, and also how much effect a person can have on another person, what the brain can do. I mean, some of you know Jim Quick from Quick Learning. I saw one of his shows, and he let everyone in the audience say like 1 or 2 numbers, and he would then recite them all from the beginning and then from the other end. The other way around. So he would recite them the other way around. And he got them all right. And they were like, I don't really know how many numbers people said, but there were lots of numbers that people said in the audience. Yeah, that's true. Like, machines can only do so much, right? Machines can only do what we can do, basically, or what we put into them. We have imagination. We can visualize things. We can create things. We are so intellectual and so psychic, actually. So yeah, that's really true. I am pleased to see that we have differences. Maybe we together become greater than the sum of both of us. From Surak. Yes, lovely quote, because that's, I think, about... My mom said that Star Trek is a really good show because it is a lot about literally like racial differences, but universal racial, interdimensional races, right? How they hate each other and how they eventually get along, or how some of them get along. And that show celebrates universal races, as in it unites. Let the differences not divide us, but unite us. And that's true on Earth too. Let your skin color or your culture, let it not divide you, and let it unite you, and let's celebrate the differences instead of deciding which one is best or something. It is possible to commit no errors and still lose. That is not a weakness, that is life. Captain Jean-Luc Picard to Data. It's like not failing ever. Like, is that good? You can still never fail and still lose in the end. Still haven't achieved anything that you want in the end. So yeah, that's really true too. Change is the essential process of all existence. From Spock. It's the only thing that is continuous. Change is always there. You cannot be stuck. You can have the same job for a long time, but your situation, your life situation will never be the same. There's always something that changes. Change is the only thing that is real in life. You cannot run from it, you cannot deny it, and sometimes it hurts too much to not change than to stay in the same place. And that means you have just grown and you've learned so much that you're ready to change and move on. And that's a that's a beautiful thing about life, is change is always there and it will always be there. It's the lot of man to strive no matter how content he is. Isn't that like the grass is always greener? Because you will always want more, which basically means that you're never done and you will never get done, no matter how happy you've become because of your striving. Computers make excellent and efficient servants, but I have no wish to serve under them. Spock. That ties into with the machines don't have compassion. I think that's what Spock means, is humans can, humanity, acting humanely. It's not something probably that is in machines. Humans have a better combination and balance of them within humans, I guess. Okay. Without freedom of choice, there is no creativity. Captain James T. Kirk. I have another quote from Dr. Jordan Peterson. He says that in order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. As in, if you have no freedom of choice or freedom to think, you cannot literally think outside of your biased box. You have to risk being offensive, and you have to have a freedom of choice within every single situation that you're in order to be creative or in order to be able to think. We have to allow ourselves to think outside of our cultured, our culture's box, our own box. To me, freedom is the most important thing in life, in every single area of life. Freedom of speech, freedom of choice, freedom of everything. Because who are you to decide over someone else what they want to do with their lives? You can use logic to justify almost anything. That's its power and its flaw. Captain Catherine Janeway. Yes, because feelings are not logical, but they're still there. This actually reminds me of the book that I'm reading now, which is Everything's Fucked by Mark Manson. And he talks about how you have a thinking brain, how you have a thinking brain and how you have a feeling brain. And that's kind of the same as your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Your thinking brain seems like it's in control, but it's actually the feeling brain. The thinking brain uses logic to move through life and to course over obstacles, basically, and to think its way through those obstacles. But the feeling brain will have more power because it's your subconscious. It's what's ingrained in you. It's who you are. If you want to eat healthy, I'm also using this example because I want to eat healthy. You have to, instead of thinking your way like, oh, or you want to quit smoking or something. Fuck, my battery's dying. If you want to quit smoking or something, you know it's bad for you. You have every single argument that it's bad for you, but your feelings are still going to be like, bitch, no, I want to keep smoking because that's what I want to do. That's your feeling brain. And your thinking brain, he doesn't care that you want to, your feeling brain doesn't care. So you have to kind of like, fuck! I sincerely apologize for this change in light and stuff, but my camera died, as you could see in the panic in the last clip. Okay, so I've written the last 3 quotes down. I don't remember what the last one was about, but I think it was about the feeling and thinking brain, yes. How the feeling brain is actually in control. Tie that in with the quote, because I forgot the quote. So I've got 3 quotes, not from Star Trek. These are from other people. Not all those who wander are lost. From J.R.R. Tolkien. Yes, why would you think? Why would anyone believe straight away if someone wanders they would be lost? They decide if they were lost or not. Someone could just wander through life. No, take a gap year. That's it, right? If people take gap years and stuff, people automatically think like,
oh, so you're not doing anything with your life?
Well, some people do. I guess some people judge. But just because someone wanders doesn't mean that they're lost. Well, most people take a gap year off because they don't know what to do. I've been one of them. But yeah, I mean, if someone just, I don't know, stop and smell the roses, I guess. You know, who said that? Let people live. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. From Plato. Yes, because I was afraid of the light too. When I was feeling so bad and so depressed and anxious, I actually came to like that feeling of comfortability, as if it was kind of welcoming. Like the darkness was welcoming. And then I do feel like that sometimes too when I feel bad about something. The initial response is still to feel kind of bad or to choose to whine or whinge about a subject, whilst you can easily just remember that all suffering is self-made suffering, it's self-created suffering, it's not actually real. So some people, they don't want to improve because they're just comfortable and afraid of what they'll have to go through if they want to improve. You'll have to get some subconscious blocks out of the way, and by doing that you'll have to healing some trauma, and by healing some trauma you'll have to try to embrace that trauma and not be scared of that trauma anymore and not give it its power that it doesn't need. So yeah, people can be afraid of the light. And I am sometimes too afraid of the light, because you will have to go through a lot of darkness to get there. I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing. But yeah, you'll never stop learning about life. If someone thinks they know it all, they actually know the least, probably. Because you cannot ever know it all. You may know a lot of things, but if you go through life, you'll see that you will always change, there's one thing that is inevitable and it's changing. There's one thing constant in life, which is funny because it's not constant, because it's change. The key to knowing everything is knowing nothing at all. Always be open to more information, and always be open to different sides of information, because there's a lot more sides to one story. That's a good quote to end on, I guess. I hope you like this. I thought of this idea because I'm obsessed with quotes and I love them. Have an amazing day. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.